Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
It's spring savings at Reflections. Shop the red tag sale this April at Reflections. Save on kids, men's, and women's selected style shoes and sneakers. Brands like Nike, Puma, Reebok, and Dockers 50% off. Adidas 60% off. Ladies jeans in select styles at 50% off. And ladies tops from $9.99. Men, step out in your Levi's $5.50. Now 25% off. All accessories and handbags 50% off. Shop the red tag sale at Reflections all month long and be entered to win 2 Cayman Airways tickets. That's mad!
At Enterprise Cayman, we're connecting ambitious minds with real-world opportunities. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, tech enthusiast, or looking to expand your network, we've got the tools, training, and community to help you thrive. From career-boosting internships to hands-on startup support, this is where innovation begins. Don't miss out on the upcoming hackathon happening May 10th. Explore this and more today at enterprisecayman.ky. Enterprise Cayman. Innovate, connect, grow.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
Come on, let me in. I can't cope with Karen in the office no more, man. Another day of her can drive me mad. I got so much laundry to do home. Oh, another message? Man, this traffic not moving today, or come on, let me in now.
Life is all about the choices we make to deal with the office Karens or sit in this long traffic, or a choice to pursue your dreams to improve your future. UCCI. It's not the classes, the grades, or a piece of paper. It's your ticket for the adventure of your choice. The choice to live your dream. Stop waiting on the path. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today.
Hey, Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked. You can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents? Browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students? Just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time.
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976.
Good evening from Radio Cayman Studio. I'm Art Connor, host of For the Record and host of tonight's one-on-one interview with independent candidate for Newlands, Mr. Raul Gonzalez, Jr. Unfortunately, the other 2 candidates for Newlands were not able to confirm their participation in tonight's debate, and neither could the 2 candidates for Savannah. Instead, we will speak with Mr. Gonzalez, Jr., independent candidate for Newlands, as he seeks to be elected to office on April 30th. Mr. Gonzalez, thank you for joining us tonight, and welcome.
Thank you.
First, Mr. Gonzalez, I want to give you an opportunity to reintroduce yourself to the people of the Cayman Islands, to Radio Cayman's listening and viewing audience. I'm sure that you have done this on several occasions during this campaign, but again, it's always good to reintroduce yourself, just in case there's someone out there who's just meeting you.
Thank you very much. Call you Mr. OC, right?
That's fine. That's fine with me.
But so OC, thank you for having me here. I want to thank Radio Cayman for hosting tonight's, supposed to have been debate, but unfortunately, like you just said, the opponents did not show up. So I guess it's an interview. But tonight is my first time coming on Radio Cayman, so I'm honored to be here, supporting my Radio Cayman station. My name is Raul Gonzalez Jr. I'm running as independent candidate for Newlands. I've lived in Newlands for over 24 years with my wife and raising our kids. And like many of you, I've felt the pressure day in, day out, trying to make ends meet and to care for our families and still hope for a better tomorrow. I ran into 2017, I ran into 2021, and I'm here again in 2025 because honestly, it's the same issues we're having. Nothing has changed. It has just got more heightened, more magnified. Promises, but the same struggles. So I believe the Newlands people and the Cayman Islands in a whole deserve better. And that's why I put myself again, because I believe the people deserve better. People ask me too, what does break the cycle mean? The slogan that we have. It means stop electing the same politicians over and over. You know, they give us the same promises every 4 years, and it's broken promises. It results in the same struggles we're having. There's no change. And that's why I say we need to break that cycle. Stop recycling the same politicians if we really want change. Our people suffering in the whole Cayman Islands. Newlands people, it's not fair to them. You know, children getting up early, going to school and being tired. Families getting up early to tend to their kids and try to get to work early with the traffic, how the infrastructure is. And that's no way to live. It's no quality life, right? And it goes on, you know, because you're drained at work. Then, you know, the cost of living is another issue. We're forced to buy food that we could only afford. Then we have an issue with health care because our health goes down. And that's the cycle just keeps going on. Education, cost of living, health care. And that's why we need to break this cycle if we really want better for our families. And that's what breaking the cycle means, right? I also hear my opponent saying that as an independent, you can't get nothing done, right? But I want to make it clear. I am running as independent, but I am willing to work with all the 19 members. I'm hoping with the support of the people, I'll be one of those 19, and I'm willing to work with the rest, the 18. Doesn't matter which party it is, our independence. We are here to serve. We are here to work for the betterment of the Cayman Islands. And collectively, that's what I want to do.
Okay. Now, speaking of the support of the people, you mentioned that you ran in previous elections, 2017 and 2021. We have seen candidates who have not succeeded on their first try and simply just give up. What is it that has driven you to continue? Obviously, you get the support from a segment of the constituency in Newlands. what is it that drives you to want to continue to seek to represent them? There has to be some passion within you that where you want to see change. What is that passion?
Love of country, love of your people. Just can't sit by and see what is happening. I don't, like I said, I never dreamed of being a politician. But when I see what is happening, I say I can't just sit the sidelines. And it's not in our DNA to give up. We got to continue fight. Caymanians was not built on weak DNA. We come from strong people, strong background. And my people, like I said, I can't give up on them. I love my country and I love my people. And I want to see better for all. And there's enough here for everybody to live good and live in harmony. There's enough. It can't be just a selected few. So 2017, like I said, I put myself forward. And they say I wasn't successful. I lost. But I didn't lose. I didn't get in. But the friends that I gained, the people that I went to house and stuff, we've become friends. We've become like an extended family. So it was a win-win for me. And 2021 was the same thing. And 2025, it's the same. I mean, doors have opened for me that's never opened before. I've lived in Newlands and come and find people there. And we know of each other, but we have never spoken. We have spoken now. So it's a win-win situation. Okay. And God is steering my boat. So wherever this boat is going, I'm good with it.
Okay. Now you're contesting an election in a constituency where two of your opponents have been elected to office previously. How do you differentiate yourself between those two candidates? They have a history in terms of their time in office, and you have not been given that opportunity yet. How do you measure what they have done with what you aspire to do?
Well, Mr. O.C., first of all, let me just say this part before I elaborate on that.
Sure,
right?
sure.
In order to, well, I don't care how much accolades you got. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much business you got, how successful you are. If you do not have a heart and care for your people, you can't be a good leader. You got to have a heart and care for your people, because that will drive you to make the right policies and enforce them to help your people. You got to be able to care for them. Mm-hmm. Saying it is one thing. Doing it and living it is another thing. You have to have that in you. Now, what separates me from them is, first and foremost, like I just said, I care for my people and I love my people. Second is, I'm working with the people. Yes, I'm going to represent them. God's willing, if it's their wish, I'm here to serve them, but we'll be doing it together. I will be forming a district council and have my subcommittees. We'll be doing this together because I need all hands on deck. So what I'm bringing to the table is unity, working together, different from what they have brought in their 8 years.
Right along those same lines, some candidates have sort of complained to a certain extent or expressed their concerns about the lack of office space in, I would say, on Grand Cayman in general. For instance, in the Red Bay area, we have heard some of the candidates express their concerns about the fact that there's no office space. You speak about advisory district councils. How do you plan on reaching out to your constituencies, offering the assistance that you would like to give them in terms of the establishment of a constituency office for them?
Okay. When God is for you, no one can be against you. I've been looking for an office space for months now. Months. I had 2 realtors looking for me. And just about 2 weeks ago, I keep driving across this place, and God put it in my heart, that's the place. I reached out to the people, and they gave me they said they'll think about it. They're interested in renting the place for me, but we can't do that until after elections. So I've found a place that we're going to have an office, God's Spare, where the district council members will meet. I will be there. We'll be manned with a secretary and everything. So whatever needs our constituents have, we will be there to support them. Also, I am pledging every 4 months, 3 times a year, we will be meeting at UCCI grounds. Family Fun Day. You come out, speak to your MP, speak to district council members, express your concerns, see where we're at, what we're doing. And at the same time, we're networking. We're getting to know one another in the community because our communities are big. Children getting to know one another, and we're doing fellowship together. We're growing and bonding, and that's where we're bringing the unity amongst all of us, and the community is going to be involved. That's the style that I'm bringing. That's a different representative that I'm bringing.
And the constituency of Newlands, it's unique in its own way. You have a cross-section of individuals and families living in that area. As you meet them on the campaign trail, what are some of the concerns that they have expressed to you that are specific to the Newlands area?
It wouldn't be nothing specific to the Newlands area, other than the flooding that we've been having in Newlands. I mean, the king tides, that's a serious thing that's been going on for years, right? But they're feeling the same thing that the whole Cayman Islands is feeling. Cost of living, housing, education. They're having issues. They're having employment issues. It's a mirror issues, a whole heap of issues that they're all facing too, right? Where the whole island is facing those same things, right? So it's compiled issues that we're all facing as a whole. But infrastructure like the traffic is a big thing. But the whole island's facing the traffic too, right? I mean, the eastern side, right? Not just Newlands, right? So Prospect too, right? So West Bay is the probably the only one that don't feel it no more, right? Like 20 years ago, they used to feel it, right? So thank God for their second road, right? If not, you'd be sitting lunchtime at Ritz-Carlton in front of Ritz-Carlton, right? So it's all the issues. We're all feeling the same thing over and over. It's just getting worse.
Okay. Now something else has cropped up quite recently that while we have heard candidates talk about the cost of living, that is likely to be exacerbated even more with the whole issue of tariffs. And while we're really not a trading partner with the U.S. per se, or a substantial one, all of the things that we import, basically almost all of them, come from the United States. If there is a global recession, and this isn't if, we know that the cost of goods are going to go up, what proposals would you have in place to address that, especially to those persons who are barely living above the poverty line in the Cayman Islands as we speak? What are some of the measures that you would take? We have heard some people talk about looking at other markets to get our goods. Do you have any views on that?
I've been speaking about this for 8 years now, and the past government's now been listening to the people. if they had implemented these things 8 years ago, what the people was suggesting, we'd be a lot further ahead and a lot better too, in a better position. Now we got to start now. And thank God that, election is here now, that we could start the process. Better late than never. You had people who wanted to start the farming, hydroponics and so forth, right? And government never did it. Caymanian people, our own, but they just throw it to one corner. Let's catch dust like everything else, right? And that's food security, and everybody's talking about food security. So, for me, we have to tackle the fuel factor to bring down. Everything has a fuel factor on it, so we need to control where we're getting fuel from and stuff to bring the cost of living down. We have to give more incentives to our farmers. We have to start not just open discussion, but we have to start dealing with Jamaica, our Caribbean countries, South and Central America, Belize, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras. We have to start trading with them. That's the immediate thing that we need to do right now. We can't just depend on the U.S. And not only because of what's going on in the U.S., right? But for health reasons too, and to bring down our cost of living. We know all the produce coming from the U.S., what's happening there. Hormones and coloring and antibiotics, all kind of stuff is injected in those stuff. And that's why we're obese. That's why our cancer rate is so high. That's why we're sick. There's so much going on, right? We need to start going to the source. Then we have to, I want to do a massive scale. Like I say, my projection and my emphasis is going to be on our people, the Caymanian people. We have land, we have water, and we have labor. And COVID has showed us it's not if, it's when. Another one's going to come. And we got to make sure we're not going to turn on each other. So food is very vital. We have land in East End. We need to start farming. The prisoners, we have a labor force. Put them to work on the farm. Raise cows, raise goats, raise chickens. We wouldn't have a chicken egg problem if we start raising our chickens, right? Raise tilapia, raise lobster, raise shrimp. They're doing it all over the world. Why can't we start here now too? We don't have to invent the wheel. We just got to bring it here and tweak it and make it work for us. Start giving the prisoners a better incentive so they could send back money to their families. They're doing their time. Give them some dignity. They're doing a good thing. And we're not a forgiving society. We say we are, but we're not. When they come out, we give them a hard time. That could be another avenue for them to work, rehabilitation. But I'm talking about carry a massive scale on this. We need to rehabilitate our prisoners and our people, because they are Caymanian people too, right? And if we could start producing our own food on mass scales like that, and allow the other local farmers to start helping them too, that'll bring down the cost of living. We'll start eating more healthier, and if anything do happen, we're sustainable in our food.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about consumer protection in the Cayman Islands. On my show this morning, I had a lot of listeners who were concerned about the service that they were receiving from one of our major carrier, the telephone carrier, here in the Cayman Islands. Of course, they can only look to OFREG for any relief from the issues that they have. And the whole process of seeking relief from OFREG isn't that easy to navigate. You lodge a complaint electronically, unless there's someone that you know there that you possibly could make a call to. What are your views in relation to protecting consumers in the Cayman Islands from, we have what some would consider predatory lending as far as financial institutions are concerned, those that have a monopoly over certain goods and services in the Cayman Islands? What would you do?
Like I said, OC, thank God the election's right around the corner, and we're going to get the right people. The Cayman Islands, I'm 2 weeks up, and we do the right thing. Because if we really want this thing to change, we need the right people up inside there who feels Caymanians come first. Now, Ofri could only do what they can do within the law. We need to give them more teeth. We need to amend some laws and put some in and like I say, give them more teeth that they could do what they have to do. That thing that spells monopoly, the only game I like Monopoly is the Monopoly game. So anything that's Monopoly, it ain't good. It ain't good for our people. So we have to work towards breaking those monopolies. And if they ain't doing what they're supposed to do, allow someone else to come in. That's the bottom line of things. We just have to do it now. We cannot stick with the same old. Thank God for Flow when they came in. Cable and Wireless, it was known as Cable and Wireless. They came in, but you saw over the years what has transpired, right? When competition came in, prices went right down. I remember the time you had to pay for incoming calls and outgoing calls. My cell bill used to be $800 to $1,000 a month. A lot of people felt that, right? Now you see what it is. 100 and odd, 200 and odd competition. But the government needs to regulate these places. Not only, you see the financial industry, the banks and so forth too, they need to be regulated. We need to revamp this whole system. So we need people who are serious, who are willing to bring policy and enforce those policies now and say, this is the line that we're towing here now for the betterment of our country. So either you're on board or step aside. Someone else is going to come in.
Now, on several occasions during the discussion tonight, you have spoken, about the fact that you would be prepared, if elected, would be prepared to work with any group. But I would imagine there must be some of the things that would have to align with your thinking and what you want to achieve in order for you to join any particular grouping. What are some of those things that would have to that you would have to see eye to eye with them on to attract you?
Caymanian first, and not just talking it. And don't show me that glossy manifesto ad. That ink and paper don't mean anything, to be honest with you, because it's been going on for decades now, and they ain't doing what they say they're gonna do. So for me to align with them, like I said, it has to be Caymanian first. And we have to sit down and say, okay, these are the policies we're going to do. We're going to break the monopolies. We're going to tackle the special interest groups. We're going to reform and revamp and regulate institutions that need to be regulated and reformed and stuff. We're going to amend the laws right now that's going to help our people, and not at the tail end right now, effectively. Our Caymanians are suffering. Our Caymanians are feeling it day to day. Stress, and that's what's triggering all these things now. They need a sense of relief, and they can't wait 2-3 years down the line. It needs it now. We have to give them. So I'm going to align with who's going to give our people a sense of relief right now and hope that things are working. I know we're not going to fix everything in 6 months or 2 months or 3. I know it's going to take time, but we got to start the process now. And that's what I'm talking about. If we have to put in the extra hours and mend these laws and put it together, and the civil service, every department's going to have to work overtime to get these things going. We saw it in COVID when laws was passed right away. So if you have the political will and you care for the people, it has to get done right away. I don't want to hear excuses. If there's going to be excuses and red tape, I won't be lining with them. So for me, it's all about political will, Caymanian first, and willing to put in the work now. The people needs it. They deserve it.
Now, our immigration policies, and that is on everybody's platform. I would imagine that when all of the manifestos are revealed, it will be on there as well. But there are many Caymanians who believe and firmly believe that our immigration policies, our current immigration policies that are in place do not work for the benefit of Caymanians, but in fact work to their detriment. What do you say?
Mr. Jose, that immigration reform has been talked about, like you said, for a long time, and nobody wants to touch it. And everybody's tiptoeing around it. And they're putting it off to every election. Oh, the next government will deal with it, next one. And it ain't about belief, It's what it is. It ain't working for the Caymanian people. It's working for special interest groups. And the powers to be works the system. And I don't blame them, for working the system, It's there. I blame us for allowing it to happen. We should be tweaking and fine-combing those loopholes and making it work for our people. Immigration reform, I stand on. Immediately. We need a moratorium on status grants and permanent residences. We can't handle 100,000 people in Cayman. And that's where we're at. They say 85,000. I think it's more than that. But whatever it is, we can't handle what is here now. So we can't add more to that. We're selling our birthright for $1 million. We're advertising out there. Come and buy property and boom, you get papers. And $1 million is what our birthright is worth? No, I ain't selling our birthright. That's what I'm saying. We need to reform and amend certain things. And that's one of the things. The policies need to be put in place. The process is too easy. You and I as a Caymanian, we can't stretch our hand for $1 million. But there's many millionaires out there that can. And when they start buying and coming in here, what's going to happen for our kids? There's nothing left. So we need to do immigration reform. We need to put in some things in place. We need to look out for our Caymanians. I want to put 1 for 1. You hire one foreigner, you hire one Caymanian. Simple as that. No excuses. Same thing with our kids that are overseas, on scholarship and coming back. You have three, just an argument's sake, you have three kids in IT that's coming in. You find out how much is an IT and work permit. And you bring those 3, put them with those other 3, shadow them for 3 months. If we have to subsidize to pay that company or whoever it is, we do it. And then you got to go. And we let them know. Give them time. Because we know our interagencies need to work together. Government interagencies has to work together. Education, the scholarship, the work has to work together. It's the only way this is going to work. But again, we have to put policies in place and enforce it. We have to look out for our own. There's no reason why we got 40,000 work permits and we got Caymanians unemployed. There's no reason. We have Caymanians that wants to work. We have Caymanians who are qualified, but they're just not getting it. I want to bring a work act law also. They have Caymanians working in these workplaces, right? And you imagine, because they don't have the degree, but they've been doing the work for 15 years or 20 years, and then they have to go train an expat here now to be their boss. But they were doing the work for 10. Why you just don't step that person up? They were doing the job. You trusted them. We have to protect our people. And if the Caymanian says anything, they're blacklisted or they're the troublemaker. No, that has to change. That's what I'm saying. Policies have to become in place. We need strategic leaders.
And along those same lines, do you have a view on rollover policy? We know now that in year 9, actually on year 8, year 9, if a person is here, they're eligible to apply. No guarantee that they're going to get it, but eligible to apply for permanent residence. You spoke about the fact that you believe that we're probably close to 100,000 already in the Cayman Islands. If we continue to leave the gate wide open for more, then we're going to easily exceed that 100,000. Do you have a view in relation to how long a person should be allowed to work in the Cayman Islands before they are required to leave this jurisdiction, break their stay? Or would you revamp the whole permanent residency system altogether?
Revamp the whole thing altogether. And I didn't mention this, but in the lines of, just remembered, in the civil service, we got expats on contract forever. Rollover has to happen on them. Shadow a Caymanian, 3, 4, 6 months, and Cayman got to take their spot. And that's something that I want to bring forward also too. But the whole thing needs revamp. We cannot have our gates open. We're only 76 square miles, and we have to take care of our own first and foremost. COVID had showed us, and prior to COVID, Ivan had shown us, when trouble hit, everyone went to their country. We had to stay right here, right, and take care of our people. So, I'm going to say it again. I'm not anti-expats. I'm not that. But we have to take care of our people first and foremost. We want to stop poverty. We want to get rid of poverty. Get everybody employed. Get everybody employed. That's the bottom line. If everyone is employed, that person mightn't have the job that he or she feels that they deserve, or they're not at where they should be. But if they have something coming in, at least they could go to Foster's and buy IGA. When they get uplifted and get more funds, then they could buy name brand products. But when they don't have no money, it's a problem. They can't even go to Foster's.
So, again, along those lines, would you advocate for the retirement age to be increased so that persons have the ability to work longer? Some may say, well, I'd really like to take a break at 65
100%.
or 70, but we see a lot of people who are struggling.
100%.
To make
100%. We're sending them home to, we call it retirement, we send them home to die. They have a lot more to offer. Why not? If they want to go home, all right. But if they want to work part-time, why don't we allow them to work part-time?
And do you believe that the government should take the lead in that?
I agree the government should take the lead in everything. We should be leading our country instead of following the special interest groups. The government is always the one following, or the special interest groups have their say and then the government goes behind it. No, the government should be leading.
Okay, I believe that your company, I'm not sure that if it still is, but certainly involved in the construction industry in terms of providing aggregate or providing concrete. So you know a lot about housing industry in the Cayman Islands. We have seen government attempt for affordable housing in some of our districts, West Bay, North Side, and East End. If you were in charge of housing, what would be the approach that you would take to ensuring that every Caymanian who wants a home and who can afford it, or to make it affordable for them, should be able to live that dream?
I agree with you. Every Caymanian deserves that. That's their birthright. But let me just say that Jay is doing an awesome job. Jay is doing an excellent job, so I want to congratulate him here on that. But he needs more support. He needs support. But if I was there with that, we have to sit down with the stakeholders and make it affordable and accessible for our people. Give them incentives, like we got to give discounts for building materials. We got to sit down and stamp duty and so forth. Give them the first 2 homes or so, 3 homes to build generational wealth to our Caymanians. Take it off the board, right? We can make it happen, but we have to have political will. Everybody's in for the dollar, for the dollar, for the dollar. This right now can't be just for the dollar, the dollar, the dollar. This has to be for the Caymanian people. We have to rezone some of these places. Instead of 100 by 100, you put it down to 6,000 square feet, and you build nice homes on it for these Caymanian people. We have agriculture there also, right? And we got to utilize them. When we build these homes, right, not only should we build them efficient and so forth for the Caymanians, but why don't we plant fruit trees on all the properties, right? You plant a coconut tree, you plant a pear tree, you plant a lime tree in each development that we're doing so they could share amongst each other, right? Not everybody could afford to go buy the $200, $300 tree, right? But we got to help our people. Instead of, I understand we own water authority and all that too, right? And we making money there, but let's go back to cisterns also. The rain is coming. Let's utilize the rain too, that they could save on that. Also make solar accessible for them. Put some solar in the homes to bring down the utilities. Because CUC ain't going nowhere, even though we got to fight with them too, right? But they ain't going nowhere. So we got to help our people. bring that cost of living down, make it accessible for them. If you have to bring back the GG Hand program too for them to get their homes, we have to do it, and it can be done. Government just have to take the lead. We can't just build the homes that we're building right now and you have how much hundreds waiting on that list. So that you mean tell me I'm gonna die before I get one? No. And not every Cayman could afford a $600,000 home.
What about the developers who are developing the high-end residential areas? Shouldn't they also play a part in ensuring that those who find themselves or who don't find themselves in their price range, shouldn't those high-end developers also contribute to what you're talking about?
I agree. We got to sit down with them too and give them incentives too. Everyone's here to make money. We understand that, right? But how much you're going to be making? We got to say now, as John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country going to do for you, but what you going to do for your country. So all these developers in the whole of the Cayman Islands, the special interest groups who's been making millions upon millions for years, decades, it's time for them to give back now. It's time to help the people of the Cayman Islands. Instead of them making that $2, $3, $4 million for the year, cut it down to 1.5, man, and help the people. Help the people. This is your country too. Let's give back.
And so you talk about sitting down with the developers. Let's go back to immigration. We know that we don't have enough people in the Cayman Islands to fill all of the jobs, all of the demands for jobs that are out there. How would you convince employers, those persons who are seeking to employ individuals on work permits, that the Cayman Islands are being stretched, we are being stretched to our limits, and we're not like a United States or a Canada or an Australia where we can receive, we're seeking people to come and take up residency in the Cayman Islands, because employers, if you speak to them, they want to employ an individual for perpetuity. As long as they would be able to employ them, they would continue to employ them. But we also know that you cannot continue to allow persons to live and work in the Cayman Islands for an unlimited period of time without offering residency to them. That is why so many people have advocated for a rollover policy. How do you convince those persons that have the bottom line is their biggest interest? How do you convince them that it is important for the Cayman Islands in terms of stability, in terms of us retaining our identity, that they need to work with you as a government to ensure that?
We still need a rollover policy, and I'm just saying we have to revamp it, but there has to be a rollover policy in place, because we can't take everybody, right? We don't have enough space for that. That's one. So I just want to make that clear that I'm not saying that we're going to get rid of rollover policy. No, we have our Caymanians that want to work and needs to work, and they should get the first preference. And the ones who are qualified, I'm not just saying because you're born Caymanian and you have no qualifications of no sort, and then you're going to just come there and take the job, right? But if you have the qualifications and you want to work, you should be getting first preference. And we, the government, should put that in place and enforce that they are working with you, not against you. We understand why they want work permits for it too, you know. It's all about control and so forth. And Caymanians can't work for $6 an hour and $8 an hour, right? So we understand the bottom line. They just want to make more money and control, right? But Caymanians come first. And if we put policy in place and reinforce it, and we work with the stakeholders, they will come aboard and work with it too. Because they are Caymanians also too. It's just that people are not used to change. They don't like change. They don't like the water being disrupted. They don't like the boat being shaken. But I'm here to shake the boat. I'm here to rock the boat. But I'm here to work with everybody. I'm a team player, right? But Caymanians first.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, we're going to take a commercial break. For our listening and viewing audience, we will take a commercial break. When we return, we will be talking with Mr. Raul Gonzalez Jr. About some national issues as well, because while they say all politics is local, at the same time, Mr. Raul Gonzalez, if he is elected, not only will represent the constituency of Newlands, but all of the people of the Cayman Islands as well. So we will have more questions for him after this short commercial break.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
It's spring savings at Reflections. Shop the red tag sale this April at Reflections. Save on kids, men's, and women's selected style shoes and sneakers. Brands like Nike, Puma, Reebok, and Dockers 50% off. Adidas 60% off. Ladies jeans in select styles at 50% off. And ladies tops from $9.99. Men, step out in your Levi's $5.50. Now 25% off. All accessories and handbags 50% off. Shop the red tag sale at Reflections all month long and be entered to win 2 Cayman Airways tickets. That's mad!
At Enterprise Cayman, we're connecting ambitious minds with real-world opportunities. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, tech enthusiast, or looking to expand your network, we've got the tools, training, and community to help you thrive. From career-boosting internships to hands-on startup support, this is where innovation begins. Don't miss out on the upcoming hackathon happening May 10th. Explore this and more today at enterprisecayman.ky. Enterprise Cayman. Innovate, connect, grow.
Hey Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked, you can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents? Browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students? Just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more. Come on, let me in. Oh, I can't cope with Karen in the office no more, man. Another day of her could drive me mad. I got so much laundry to do home. Oh, another message? Man, is traffic not moving today or what? Come on, let me in now.
Life is all about the choices we make to deal with the office Karens or sit in this long traffic, or a choice to pursue your dreams to improve your future. UCCI. It's not the classes, the grades, or a piece of paper. It's your ticket for the adventure of your choice. The choice to live your dream. Stop waiting on the path. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Good evening and welcome back to Radio Cayman Studios. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Art Connor, host of For the Record, and hosting tonight's one-on-one interview with independent candidate for Newlands, Mr. Raul Gonzalez Jr. As we explained earlier, unfortunately, the other two candidates for Newlands were not able to confirm their participation in tonight's debate, and neither could the two candidates for Savannah as well. So instead, we have been speaking with Mr. Raul Gonzalez Jr., independent candidate for Newlands, as he seeks to be elected to office on April 30th. Earlier, we discussed several issues: immigration, policies, and we are going to talk cost of living, consumer protection, housing challenges. We're going to talk a little bit about infrastructure, but one of our listeners sent in a message and wanted us to talk a little bit more about food security, backyard farming, and the raising of chickens, something that some people complain about, but it goes a long way back in our history when everyone had a fowl coop and everyone raised their own chicken, were able to produce their own eggs, and at the end of the day, that meal was coming from the backyard rather than from a container heading all the way from Brazil and ending up in the waters off the coast of Jamaica. So they wanted to hear some more from you, about food security and sustainability.
I agree 100%, and I want to support that. I've spoken about that two elections now. And I think government needs to give incentives and help the people with their backyard farming, where they can help them. Not everybody has the garden hand. So wherever you could help them. But we have to promote backyard farming 100%. And for Newlands, I am going to promote that 150%. We are going to help the people where we can help them with the backyard farming in Newlands. I want to start with Newlands, who needs 3, 4, 5 yards of soil. We are going to help the people get their soil and help them through programs that they could start that backyard farming.
And Newlands has some of the best farmland on island. I'm sure that there are other districts that will sort of challenge us on that, but Newlands does have some of the best farmland. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk a little bit about conservation and sustainability. There's a lot of talk about conservation and or ability or inability to balance development with conservation as well. Conserving, our wetlands, because we know how important they are. But at the same time, we see the expansion outside of what would normally be called the city limits of Georgetown. Everything moving towards the east, moving towards the west as well. We see now more and more encroachment, in our wetlands. How do you see balancing the two?
Mr. O.C., when you say going west, everyone is being pushed east. Ain't nothing going west, right? And that's what's happening to our island here now in a whole too, Before I get to you, it's segregation in a whole, Only a certain class of people is going to be living on West Bay, right? Everyone is being pushed out. In town, there's no more town, right? Everyone is being pushed out to the eastern side. So a lot of the farmland is being eaten up because people need a place to live. And we don't have 5,000 people anymore as Caymanians. We don't. So I believe there has to be a balance. I agree with you 100% that there has to be a balance. But there's a but here now too, you know. When they were doing Cayman Bay, if you ask, depends who you ask, they would say it was wetlands. You ask the Caymanians, it was swamp. Same thing with South Sound. All those roads and things, it was wetlands, but they did what it did, right? Our infrastructure up here now. You see what happened to the Eastern Districts. That road, we need that road badly. Not to alleviate the traffic any faster, because it ain't going to make the traffic any faster, but we have another outlet. And we've opened up lands where we could build homes for people and start to... The Go East initiative has been talking for how many decades now. At least start to get it go east. So that road would alleviate all of that. But we can't go through. We're talking about farmland, and we're talking about food sustainability. And I'll go back to say I never ever thought in my whole life that the island would shut down the way it did with COVID. I don't think anybody thought that every plane would be landed and every cruise ship would be parked, and you couldn't leave your house until your name was that day. So it's not a matter if something's going to happen again. It can happen, and it's going to happen again, right? So we need to make sure we are taking care of our people. Food, we can't go without food. So I'm not tearing up farmland to put the road through the farmland when we got the swamp. Use a swamp. We have technology now that we could do it without damaging everything. Let's use our technology and common sense that we do have. We've built many roads, but I'm not in favor of tearing up food security for a road when we could just do it the right way and just go right through. We have done it all West Bay Road, South Sound, Harkwell Bypass, Linford Pearson. They would tell you too that was mangroves there too. It's all swamp too. There has to be a balance too.
Now that east-west, the extension of that east-west arterial, that will profoundly impact your constituency of Newlands as well. On the campaign trail, what have you heard from your constituents in relation to it? Is there a measure of support for the extension of that road?
Of course there is. But we got to put some things in place with that road. We can't continue making the roads any wider, right? We're only so wide, right? So the government has to start leading. We have to tell the private schools, bus your kids, because that's hundreds of cars off the road. We have to stagger the work times. Everybody can't come to work at the same time. Staggered it. We have to go back to 2 or 3 days working remotely from home. If you can, technology is there. No one needs to come to the office to be micromanaged, right? So that would alleviate. Yes, we're talking about a public transport system and all that. That's great. We got to work towards that too. But that's the long-term one. We need the stuff that's going to bring relief to our people right now. The road, but the road got to work in conjunction with these measures, and that will help everybody. Now, no one wants to hear this, but the reality is this. Another long term that we're going to have to put in place is overhead bypasses. We're going to have to do it. We don't want to look like Little Miami, but we are already Little Miami. That's the reality. We just want to make sure that we don't get Little Miami on the eastern side of the island now, because it's already on the western side. So we don't want to bring Little Miami to that side of that. We need to preserve what we do have, right? And I'm gonna push for that too. Got some policies that I want to bring, some motions for that also. But in the near future, we're gonna have to start thinking about overhead passes. That's the only way. We can't keep building roads wider and wider. We're gonna start tearing down people's homes. Are we gonna go into the sea? So that's what's going to have to happen.
Now, one of the issues, or one of the things that we feel that contributes to the issues that we have as far as traffic is concerned is, number one, the mass importation of vehicles and the number of persons who are able to own vehicles in the Cayman Islands. There are people who feel that we have extended our hand, given individuals the privilege of working in the Cayman Islands, but at the same time, they have placed an excessive burden on the infrastructure of the Cayman Islands because we have allowed them to import their own vehicles as well. Do you have a position on that and a view?
Mr. OC, the people that own the car dealerships are Caymanians and they control the island. There's a handful of them. Cars not going to stop coming in. Right? It's not going to stop. We got to do these little measures and put them in place first. And let's see how that works. Yes, I agree. Work permit holders with their cars is another issue now, right? Everybody's talking about that. But remember now, we might solve that issue by work permit holders don't have no cars. But then how they going to get to work? How that job going to happen, right? We have to have a public transport system in place first that's functioning properly, right? And we might solve one problem, we created 50 with that issue. So we have to be real careful on that one. I'm saying take these measures first. Let's see how they work. And then we start to implement the other measures once we put things in place. Because we can't just take cars away from people, right? Then what we're stopping? Helpers can't come to your house. So how you gonna leave to go to work? Wherever these people are working, right? Wherever restaurants, wherever hospital, wherever you're gonna disrupt that whole system, right? Because of a car issue, right? So we have to take action. We have to take action now. And there's simple measures that we can take to make it work right now. COVID showed us too. People working from home remotely. That works great. Great. I remember when the day that I could have come out, I drove from my house straight to Seymour Drive. 5 minutes. 5 minutes I timed it. I couldn't believe it. I drove easy. No cars on the road, few cars. Get to the roundabout, you could just drive right through. It was just so smooth sailing. I was like, whoa. So there's simple measures we can take, and we have common sense. We don't need no one to come and tell us about more reports and more studies and spending millions of dollars. Let's just take the simple approach and use the brain that God has given us and deal with it.
Are there any low-hanging fruit that if you're elected and you join any group to form a government, can you tell us some of the things that you can envisage being put into effect very quickly that will ease some of the pressures that we're facing in the Cayman Islands? Can you think of any?
There's plenty of things that we can do. Plenty of stuff we can do. Start taking control of our purchasing our fuel and stuff like that, where we're purchasing it from. Let's go sit down with CUC and renegotiate that contract with them to bring down the utility bills. Relief we could bring to the people right now is these measures that we could put in infrastructure right now, right? Start working from home remotely, stagger the work times, and tell us private school, listen, this is what's going to have to happen, right? So these are things that could help bring relief to the people, just to name a few that could happen right now.
Would you support, we spoke earlier and you spoke earlier very passionately about residency and Caymanian status. Would you support immediate changes to the law to remove those from our legislation, at least in the interim, until we're able to
150%
find a path forward?
150%. We'd have to do that immediately.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the ballot paper itself. We know that on the ballot paper, you'll have the names of the candidates as well as their party affiliation, if there are any, and in your case, as an independent. But on the bottom of that ballot paper will also be 3 referendum questions. Let's talk a little bit about those and whether or not you support them. We have the cruise berthing facility. Let's talk a little bit about that first. Then we'll come to the national lottery and also decriminalization of ganja. Your view on cruise berthing facility, and any suggestions in terms of if you support it, where should it go?
Mr. O.C., I have to chuckle a little bit on that, right? Because you get advice from people to don't say certain things or don't, because you might step on someone's toes, this and that. But one thing I'm not is a hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite. So I'm going to speak my mind, right?
Thank you.
I am for, you want to talk about the cruise? We need a cruise berthing facility, right? Where is the next thing, though? But I'm here to serve the people and carry out their will. So whatever they decide is what I'm going to do. I'll work with the next 18 to get it done. But if you ask me personally, where it should go, I have an opinion there, where it should go. But I'm no professional in this, but I would put all the people on board.
You're not the expert.
I'm not the expert, but I have an idea, right? And for me, the port, well, before I get to that, the Port Authority does need revamping. That port there had been sitting there for how long, God knows, right? Not to mention equipment and so forth. It's outdated. And we're talking about very important issues, right? But there's stuff there that's on the underlying issue that no one is talking about that will affect everybody. Those equipment, they're outdated. And we got one crane working. You could imagine when that crane break down, how the ship can get offload. That can affect the whole island. We don't have a backup crane. And that's a very important issue because we depend on everything that being brought in by them boats. So that's something that we need to tackle and rectify. We can't be reactive. We need to be proactive. We can't wait for something to happen and then we say, oh my God, right? And then the whole island is affected. So on that cruise, for me, I said it before and I'll say it again. You have those quarries up there. Those holes are 8 to 5 feet deep or even more. I think you should join them and have a safe harbor. Work with Rubis and Soul, work with Home Gas, Clean Gas, the Port Authority, and the cruise, and set harbor over there. Upgrade the piers and spots. Upgrade the port over here, but build it over there. Everybody move up there. Home Gas is dangerous where it is. When it first came about, it was okay, but everybody's built around there. You got children, you got schools, you got people living there. Rubis and Soul is the same thing. It has to move from there. We need to have safe harbor. Utilize those basins that we have that will never ever get filled again. Those basins are all the material we're using on the island. Yes, you're going to have the environmentalists saying how you're going to get in there and you're going to bust the reef. But at the smallest part, right going into breakers, right at the corner there, it's the smallest part. That's the ocean. Channel go right in. You have a bridge, just like in the U.S.
You don't have any concerns, and that would be for cruise as well as port? As well as cargo?
Put everybody up there, and they have space to grow.
Mm-hmm. But wouldn't that then be a massive shift of everything from Georgetown to East End? So we move the congestion from one end of the island to the other?
But we put infrastructure in place. We put the infrastructure in place and we do it right from the get-go. Because we've always developed and then come back with infrastructure afterwards. We got to put the infrastructure first and then develop. We can't be thinking 4-year plan. We got to be thinking 100-year plan. Okay. And everybody's just thinking 4 years.
Okay. National Lottery. Considering discussions around the introduction of a national lottery, what's your position on its potential implementation, and how do you foresee it affecting the economy and the social fabric of the Cayman Islands if we introduce the national lottery, bearing in mind that there are many other countries that have national lotteries as we speak?
Like I said, OC, again, whatever the people's will is, I will follow. I'm here to serve and carry out what their will is. But personally, I'm a churchgoer. I'm a member of Baptist Church. I ain't going to force you to go to church. I'm not going to impose that on you. This is my belief. This is what I do, right? But I know people that go to church and buy numbers. I know people, even me, you go to Florida and you buy a Florida ticket to see if you could win that. You know? So, and here in the Cayman Islands, there is a black market and numbers. There's the Jamaican numbers and there's the Honduran numbers on Sundays. And we get nothing from it. 2 slices of bread is better than nothing at all. The government could do with that revenue. If we could regulate that. And with that revenue, we could have more funding for scholarships, more funding for education, health care. It can work. It is working all over the world, right? Maybe one Caymanian every month could win and change that family's life forever, right? So there's money to be made and it could help us 100%. We have to be thinking out of the box here now. We're so used to just immigration, work permit. That worked a long time ago. It ain't working now. That is working against us. So we got to think out the box for new sources of revenue.
Okay, and the last item on the referendum portion of the ballot paper has to do with decriminalization of ganja. And we have seen that legislation has been passed in relation to using ganja for medicinal purposes. And of course, it has to be prescribed and everything else. Do you have a view other than for medicinal purposes in with the suggestion that we decriminalize the use of small amounts of ganja? Now, some people have confused decriminalization with legalization, and those who seek to clarify it point to the fact that as a British overseas territory, and based on the stance that the UK government has already taken in relation to it, that legalization is probably not an option, but decriminalizing, which means that those persons who would normally have a record for using small amounts, a conviction that may end up ruining their careers or their chances of traveling abroad for schooling and things of that nature, that this would help to relieve those issues. What are your views?
Mr. OC, just because the other world does it, to me, we have to follow. Not everything that everybody's doing is right? I just want to make that clear, because the world is doing it that we have to follow. We don't have to follow. We should be leading and do what is best interest for our people. Now, I support the decriminalizing 150%. You have, like you just said, we got to face the facts. No one wants to speak the truth, but a lot of our youngsters and a lot of people is smoking ganja. That's the reality of life. It is like me drinking water right now, right? So, you have good people. They make a mistake when they're young. They smoke ganja, they get a record, they turn around their life, they're productive citizens, they have a family, they're raised and they turn around, they're successful entrepreneurs. But then they can't travel because of that record. So I agree 100% of decriminalizing. They shouldn't suffer because of that. Because they made a mistake when they were young or something, or they went down the wrong road. Small amounts, like you said, decriminalizing it, not legalizing it, decriminalizing it. Too much of our Caymanians are suffering and they fall on that. And that's where we got to make sure that no more falls in those cracks there then. And the ones that are there now, let's sponge that off the record right away. Take it off that they could turn their life around now too and enjoy whatever they have left with their families and stuff. Because many of them is on that boat right now.
One of the things that we haven't spoken about yet is our young people, our youth, and opportunities for them. You've spoken to the fact that you belong to the Baptist Church. That's where you attend. You're a member there. And we know that Baptist Church, just like many others, have youth programs.
Excellent youth
programs. Part of their outreach. And other than the religious outreach to our youth, what do you feel that our government could be doing more in terms of assisting our youth, ensuring that they are prepared for the economy of the future in the Cayman Islands? We always talk about the fact that our youth, they're our future. What is your vision for the young people of the Cayman Islands?
I can tell you a lot on that one, right? But CI Baptist, I'm a member of CI Baptist. You got Baptist and Lion Center, and then you got CI Baptist, right? But those churches have an excellent youth program, excellent. And thank God that they have those youth programs, that those kids have an outlet to go to, right? Because the government of the day, the PAC government, they did an injustice to the Cayman Islands when they lost the skate park. They should have bought that. That should have never been sold. You know how many times we carry the youths to that skate park and how many families go there? It's a void now. Where are those families going? Where are those kids going? We should have joined a partnership with Michael Miles and upgrade that place and have a place where our kids could go and families uniting and building and keeping that social fabric. Now we have a void, right? Why? Because sold it to whoever they sold it to here now, close it down, and a complex is going to go there now, right? So what happened to our youths? We talk about our youths, but we ain't doing for them, right? And that's why I'm saying we need action. We need people who really care, not just talking about it. Now, what I want to do for our youths here now, I want government to do more than what they're doing right now. We have plenty of football players for many years that had talent, but we didn't hone on them. Many, and your days too. We didn't give them the support they needed, so they couldn't go nowhere. And then the ones we have now, we still not doing nothing. You can't expect a person to work an 8-to-5 job and then come and do the sports. He has a family to take care of. He has bills to pay. And if he gets hurt, what's going to happen? So we're backwards.
So you would support that members of our national team, be it football, basketball, whatever that they should be given some form of a stipend.
100%. 100%. We're going to bring policy for that to support them and back them, right? Look at Jordan Crooks, our young Caymanian, 2 world records. He has just made, 2 world records, a young Caymanian. Come from a little place of 76 square miles. What have we done for him? What have we done for him? To inspire young Caymanians to be like him? Nothing. We gave him a couple of dollars from private sector. What have we really done? You know what he should have got? And God's spirit I get in, he will be getting it, because I'm going to fight for that. He needs to get a home. He needs to get a piece of land. He needs to get a car. His poster should be all over the place for what he has done to inspire young Caymanians. And if I have my way in Newlands, in Savannah, when I'm going to fight for a civic center for our youths up that side to have after-school programs. I'm also going to fight to build an Olympic-sized pool up there. Name it after Jordan Crooks. Inspire Caymanians who wants to swim. Train them. Bring tourism up here too. Swimmers from all over the world could train here. Start training lifeguards at our pool that we could put on the hotels and beaches. That's young Caymanians. Seniors could go in the pool. It's good exercise. The community could use the pool. It's almost multiple uses that we could have. Not everybody Fort could go to Lion Center. Not everybody could go to Cayman Bay. So I'm going to fight for that over there. And I'm going to put Jordan Crooks' name all over the place, all over the Cayman Islands. He should be at the airport, Port Authority, everywhere you name it. Go. He should have a big big poster. And we should be honoring him and respecting him and inspire the young Caymanians.
Mr. Gonzalez, we're almost to the end of this very revealing, and you've been so transparent in terms of your answers, but we're getting almost to the end now. I want you to talk about your future plans between now and the 30th of April, anything that you want to let our listeners and viewers know about meetings that you plan on having, or how you intend to continue to reach out to the constituents of Newlands. And then I want to invite you after that for some closing comments to our listeners and our viewers as well.
Thank you, Mr. O.C. For my people of Newlands, Cayman Islands in a whole, from here going forward, well, I've been doing house to house. I'm trying to get to everybody's house. It's not the easiest thing because of the time restraints. Everybody's at work, so I goes around in the mornings, I go in the afternoons, I go in the evenings, and I know it's too late, when dark come, you can't really disturb people. But I'm going house to house every day from here till the 28th, right? Or the 29th, I'll be going house to house same way. If anybody wants to reach me, my number is there under the signs, and my number is 926-3780 to set a meeting. People have been calling me 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock to come over, right? So don't feel that it's too late. You can call me anytime. I want to reach everybody. I want to break that barrier. I want you guys to meet me. I meet you. You ask me the questions, see what I'm bringing to the table. I hear your concerns. We compile all that information, and together we find that solution, right? It's going to take all of us. So that is what I'm bringing, and that's what I need your help. So I need you to reach out or come to our meetings. Saturday coming, we will be having a meeting at Mario Rankin's yard at 7 o'clock. The flyers will be going out tomorrow. We'll be delivering flyers. We'll put on social media and stuff, but that's going to be a big meeting. And I encourage you guys to please come out there, hear what we have to say, our plans for Newlands and for the country. The following Saturday, that is the 12th, the following Saturday, the 19th, we'll be having a motorcade, and we'll have a family fun day at ICCI just to bring out everybody and get to meet one another and socialize. And you get to meet me, I meet you, and meet the community. Because this is what we need more of, community, togetherness, right? And networking. You get to know who's in your community. And then we have our final meeting on the 28th at ICCI grounds. That's going to be the final big meeting. But I am canvassing 7 days a week. 7 days a week. So feel free to call me anytime. And if you do call me and I do not answer you, I don't want you to say that, see, I can't even get him now. He already started. No, it's not that. It's that I'm in someone's home, and the same respect I can give you, I give them. As I leave their home, I return my calls. So that's all I'm asking you, to bear with me a little bit, please. And like I say, I'm here for you. I'm here to serve. And if you really want change, give me a call, please, that we can sit down and talk. You cannot make a sound decision if you don't hear from everybody. Thank you.
So, folks, that ends tonight's interview with Mr. Raul Gonzalez Jr., who is seeking to be elected to our parliament in the upcoming April 30th general elections and to represent the constituency of Newlands. On our calendar this Wednesday, instead of hosting a debate, Radio Cayman will be broadcasting the Chamber Forum with their party leader debate. Our next debate is on Monday, the 14th of April, with candidates from Bordentown East and West beginning at 7 p.m. Our last debate night will be Wednesday, the 16th of April, when we will travel to Cayman Brac to host debates between Cayman Brac East and Cayman Brac West. We want to thank you, our debate sponsors, Subway, Reflections, Enterprise Cayman, Yum, UCCI, and Winners Circle. Thank you as well to our listeners on the airwaves and streams, and again, Mr. Raul Gonzalez Jr. for his participation as well. Thank you, and good night.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bright. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
Hey, Cayman parents, we get it. You're underslept, over-trafficked. You can barely find your sanity in the morning because you're still trying to find your kids' shoes and lunch boxes. Let Yum take some of the stress away. Every day, over 3,000 students enjoy delicious, nutritious meals from Yum. Over 5 million lunches served and counting. Private school parents? Browse the Yum Cayman app and order up to a month in advance or last minute by 12 a.m. the night before. Government school students? Just drop by the Yum canteen. No pre-orders needed. Yum can't help you find your sanity, but we can sure make your mornings just a bit easier. Check out daily menus at myschoolpos.com or visit yumcayman.ky to learn more.
It's spring savings at Reflections. Shop the red tag sale this April at Reflections. Save on kids, men's, and women's selected style shoes and sneakers. Brands like Nike, Puma, Reebok, and Dockers 50% off. Adidas 60% off. Ladies jeans in select styles at 50% off. And ladies tops from $9.99. Men, step out in your Levi's 550, now 25% off. All accessories and handbags 50% off. Shop the red tag sale at Reflections all month long and be entered to win 2 Cayman Airways tickets. That's mad!
Come on, let me in. I can't cope with Karen in the office no more, man. Another day of her can drive me mad. I got so much laundry to do home. Oh, another message? Man, is traffic not moving today or what? Come on, let me in now.
Life is all about the choices we make to deal with the office Karens or sit in this long traffic, or a choice to pursue your dreams to improve your future. UCCI. It's not the classes, the grades, or a piece of paper. It's your ticket for the adventure of your choice. The choice to live your dream. Stop waiting on the path. Visit www.ucci.edu.ky. Choose your dream and blaze your trail today.
At Enterprise Cayman, we're connecting ambitious minds with real-world opportunities. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, tech enthusiast, or looking to expand your network, we've got the tools, training, and community to help you thrive. From career-boosting internships to hands-on startup support, this is where innovation begins. Don't miss out on the upcoming hackathon happening May 10th. Explore this and more today at enterprisecayman.ky. Enterprise Cayman. Innovate, connect, grow.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Bright. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.